Okay, so this is Throne and Liberty's first dungeon, Specter's Abyss. It's available at level 20. First thing I'm going to show you is some general tanking tips. There is no threat meter visible in the game, but there are some exclamation points up that show you who pulled threat last. So I'm going to pull this group of mobs up here in front of us, and you're going to see little orange exclamation points pop up above their head. And there you go. Right here. Here. So these exclamation points will only pop up if you are in combat. Okay, so the next tip I want to show you is what happens when somebody else pulls threat while you are currently holding it. This way you know if another DPS in the group pulls threat over you and you need to taunt back. You'll see a similar exclamation point, but this time it'll be white. And you'll see I lose threat here on 2 of these mobs. Somebody launched a big AoE right there. You can now see these white exclamation points. And yeah, you'll know that's a good time to taunt, which it looks like I just did after seeing that. Okay, so here is another tip for targeting a threat. You're going to notice above their health bars that there are these diamonds. What this means is how many people are targeting the same mob that you're targeting. So right now, that means that there are 3 people, myself and 2 others in the group who are targeting. You'll eventually see some more diamonds pop up as we pull. And now you can see that there are 6 diamonds here because everyone in the group has targeted him. All right, so we're back here at the beginning of the dungeon. There are 4 different kinds of mobs in this dungeon. You're going to see archers, sword and shield users, 2-handed users, and then a wizard. The arbiters, these guys here that are 2-handed sworders, are going to be the most dangerous. They deal the most amount of damage. Still not a really big deal now at level 20. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this first group, and you're going to see me grab the sword and shield. And this guy in the back does kind of patrol around, so you don't necessarily have to pull him at once. The sword and shield guy, you'll see, does a fury attack, and so does the 2-handed sword guy. After the sword and shield dies, the 2-handed sword guy will jump to one of the DPS, and you'll notice that he did not have a white exclamation point, so that means that I didn't lose threat. That's just his mechanic. And you'll notice this going through a lot of the dungeons in the game. There's dogs in the second dungeon that will just drop threat and attack random people. Okay, so the next kind of mob is the enchanted archers. All they do is shoot you and a fury attack, so just make sure you're blocking that. So no problem here. He's just shooting away, and the fury attack. And that's just a tank and spake for these archers. And we have our last mob in the dungeon. This is going to be the enchanted wizards. You're going to see that they put up a AoE on the ground. And other than that, you just got to tank and spank. So you know, see, you put an AoE out right away at the beginning, and then yep, right here, you can see Clonette is now inside of this AoE, and like a good player, they are going to move out. So the first boss is the Shadowmancer. He's got a couple of attacks. He'll put random purple circles on the ground, and he'll also put a purple circle pattern on the ground. That's always the same pattern, one big one with 4 smaller ones around the outside. And then he'll also stun and lift up one of your allies. So you got to either stun him, or the healer's going to have to heal up a bunch of damage. So I'm going to go ahead and pull. I'm going to pull him back just so that the melee DPS gets some more room to maneuver around him when he does do that pattern. So he did just do the random circle when I pulled. So next he's going to do the pattern. And there you go. So you notice here, it's always the same pattern. And so you can have this safe zone to kind of run in and out of. You'll notice I do get clipped as I run back in. Take about 1,000 damage. So don't step in those. And then next, Poopy Stinks is going to get stunned and lifted up. And you'll see that animation. So he says, I will end your life. And now Poopy Stinks is floating in the air. We should stun the boss at this point, but nobody does. So you'll see him take a good chunk of damage at the end of the cast. right there. So he's almost dead. The healer is going to have no problem healing him up, though. And you just have to continue to dodge his circles. If you don't have enough damage, he'll do the stun again, but this group just DPSs him down before that can happen. And not too bad. Next thing that's going to happen is you'll see here on the mini map that there are these 2 switch rooms. And you're going to have to go down the hallway left and right and kill some of the mobs and activate the switches. All right, so you're going to see us defeating this last mob in the room. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip that first switch. You'll notice the gate opens and there's a red aura in the room, so that's not good to go in there just yet. See right there, hear this red aura. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next room. So one of the DPS in the group already realized that you could flip the switch, so they did that while we were fighting, saving us a little bit of time. And then you'll notice that the room up here is now clear of that red aura, so it's safe to go in. Don't just go right for the boss. You'll see that there are 3 mobs in here that are walking around, a wizard, an archer, and the 2-handed sword. So make sure you take those guys down first and then move on to the boss. I've done this dungeon a few times and somebody almost always pulls the boss early. So try to keep your group towards the wall. All right, so we're about to pull the second boss. It's the Riot Squad captain. He's got a couple of abilities. So I'm going to go ahead and pull. He'll start attacking me or somebody else in the party. And now if they have threat, he's on me. The next thing you're going to see is he will target a random party member with a fire sword slash. He's got to make sure to dodge that. There it is, coming right out of him. The next thing you'll see is he'll put a bubble around him. This is his main ability of about 10 seconds. You got to burn it down, and then somebody has to stun him when it falls off, or he will do this big AoE. Stunned too early there. It wasn't even off. And there, somebody else did manage to stun him. You also notice that Fury attack that I missed. It comes out after that. It will knock you back as the tank, so always make sure you're looking out for that. Does the fire attack again. So he pretty much just cycles through those same abilities. You'll see the shield pop up again. And there we got it broken pretty quickly. Again, watch out for Fury attacks. That's me stunning him out of spite. And he's gone. Okay, here's the last boss. He pretty much has 3 mechanics. He's going to start off doing a cone to whoever he's targeting, so hopefully that's you, as the tank. You're going to want to make sure nobody's standing behind you. See, I'm looking at that guy, making sure I've got the boss position, so he does the cone away. And then you're going to see him teleport. So what ends up happening here is he'll teleport twice and then target members with that same cone attack. So you don't, like right there where I was standing behind somebody, you don't really want to do that. And then he'll just keep doing the attacks. It does an AoE Fury attack, so see it hits everybody. And then one more mechanic, which is the most important mechanic, is going to be the circle he puts on the ground, this bubble, and everyone needs to stack in it. You can see the other DPS, I guess, don't know what to do here. So we're going to end up taking a little bit of extra damage, especially this person, Chris YLO, is going to take extra damage here. But it's an ability that spreads the damage out to everybody in the group. Yeah, so Chris just needs to get healed up there. You notice also sometimes it will fear people who are in or out of the circle. Again, keep making sure to face the boss away. Keep up with your Fury attacks, blocking. And it just simply repeats the same mechanic. Okay, here's another view of that same bubble attack. See a couple of us stack up. Luckily, More people stack up this time, or Poopy Stinks would have died there. We do have another death. Getting close to the end of this boss. People missed their block, I think, on that AoE. So Poopy Stinks died there. I can almost heal myself as long as I have mana. This boss doesn't do too much damage. So there you go. Not too bad. Get your loot, and the dungeon is done. This has been Deadman Fred, and if you like this video, please give a like and subscribe. And if you're as passionate about gaming as I am, check out my channel for other guides and adventures.